All right. Sorry for the delay, folks. I was just getting everything in order. It's pretty bright and sunny outside right now, so I figured I'd try doing some more like natural lighting with the sunshine in, and so I had to do a little bit of adjusting for all my stuff to make sure it was still visible. Audio streams bit rate 0, and yeah, no kidding, because I had it muted. I always start my streams out muted. But yeah, just trying things a little different. Sorry about last stream. I know that was a bit of a slob stream, a little phoned in, little slob core, but yeah, it was just I just wasn't feeling it last week. Sometimes Daddy don't want to go to work, and it was just tough. There was a lot on my mind at the time. So very tired, very burdened. But I'm doing better now. I got a little bit of my energy back. I'm at like I don't know, like 66% instead of 33% like last time. But yeah, doing a little better. Got my hair fixed up. I still need to shave, but I got my contacts in. It's still kind of messy around here, but whatever. I can live with it, and you can too. It's summer vacation, so well, sort of. I've still got a little bit of work to do before I can commence my summer vacay in earnest. But I'll have more time to focus on like tidying up in here and getting more well rested and trying to work on the channel. Although there is a roadblock. My installation of Adobe Premiere Elements isn't working anymore. It's I don't know. I got to figure it out. I think it's another one of those things where it needs verified, even though I verified it already. So I'm really considering just looking for an alternative to Premiere, so I can get back to editing videos and stuff. Thankfully, when it comes to thumbnails, I found out that Krita can actually open Photoshop files. Sometimes it's kind of a picky eater. Sometimes it opens it just fine, but it almost seems like if it's a file that has like a long history, the way my thumbnails do, where I just stack layer onto layer onto layer, then it stops playing nice. Even if you delete the layers, there's just something in it that says that it doesn't want to do it. So that's kind of annoying. But yeah, so it's summer vacation. That's helped bring my mood up a little bit. We got One Piece back this week. That also helps. And also, there's I don't really like to get too deep into personal issues on the channel, but I do feel like I owe my audience some transparency as to the how and why of like how is it that you don't have any time or effort to spare on the channel. Why are you so low energy all the time? Well, it's because for the past 3.5 months, I had a girlfriend. And it was pretty cool. It was my first girlfriend ever. And there were neat things about it, but at the same time, it was not a healthy relationship. It was not a healthy relationship. It was not a rewarding relationship. There were just a lot of issues, and I tried to make it work as best as I could, and I put a lot of energy into it. But the amount of energy that it took to make that relationship work and keep working, it was just not sustainable. So I had to break it off, and even though I was the one to break it off, it was still pretty devastating for both of us because I try to be a good guy. I've got no taste for broken hearts or anything. I don't like making anybody cry. I never want to make anyone cry, but it was just something I had to do. It was like a band-aid that I had to rip off. It was a shot I had to take, a bitter pill I had to swallow. So um, I think it did have to be done because as hard as it was to break it off, the alternative was just staying in this relationship that just leached me of all my energy and enthusiasm and patience, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. So I'm back to the usual single grind, but with all the stresses I've been dealing with, I think I've come to appreciate my solitude a little bit more. So, and while it was rough at the time, I've had a little bit of time to get used to it, like get back into what it's like to be single. Forget the feeling, but remember the lesson. I think now that I've been through this, I have a bit more experience to be more discerning with my dating pool, being more specific about what I expect from a partner, that kind of thing. We're not here to talk about all that. We're here to talk about the good old fashioned nerdy stuff. One Piece and YouTube videos and Netflix's latest animated misadventure. And I figured we'd start. Excuse me. Mm, um, mm. Just had some fried chicken with some very disappointing sauce that I picked up from like a local vendor. Very honestly, very very disappointing sauce. Very sad. I need to go on another trip to Pepper Palace at some point. I mean, the nearest Pepper Palace is quite far away, and I don't like spending gas like that. And the really good stuff is also really expensive. When you go back to your school, your primary school history lessons, talking about the big spice trade and anything. Spices are still pretty expensive. That's something that's never changed, really. So if you want the really spicy stuff, you gotta fork out some dough for it. But I don't know. I'm missing it. I really wanted to get regret hot sauce. That's the hottest hot sauce in the world. There is one thing that's hotter than it. It's called like pure evil, but that's like capsaicin extract. It's not even technically hot sauce, so it's like whatever. But regret hot sauce is like 12 million Scoville. It's like the upper limit, like the upper physical limit of how hot sauce can possibly be. The problem is that regret hot sauce is British with limited shipping options, and so I haven't figured out how to get my hands on it. So I don't know. I don't know, but whatever. I'm getting distracted. Let's go ahead and jump into this One Piece chapter because it has been too long, and we've got a nice color spread looking hype. I love the bright bustling colors. This is really really sick, and the slogan says "Make a splash." Brooke looks awesome. Frankie looks awesome. What is Frankie's hairdo in this? I can't really parse it. Jinbei is really tucked in there. It looks really cute. He's got like some blush on. I just, as a Jinbei fan, I wish he had a little more to do because it just seems like ever since he joined the crew, he's just kind of there. Like, the way I see it, he hasn't had the same opportunity to shine that other Straw Hats have while being a member of the Straw Hat crew. He hasn't had his moment yet. He hasn't had his, his, like, Usopp versus Sugar moment or Chopper versus Gadatsu or something like that. He hasn't had, like, he hasn't faced this test as a member yet, the way I see it. And he's joining so late, like in late stage One Piece, that like the Straw Hats no longer feel like the focus anymore. Now it feels like we've pivoted more to a broader story about the One Piece world as a whole, and the Straw Hats are just kind of in it. I anticipate that we will pivot back to the Straw Hats, as we get into the end game and they start making their dreams come true. But as it is right now, a lot of them have really fallen by the wayside. I would argue even Luffy himself has kind of fallen by the wayside. Luffy's nose, by the way, speaking of Luffy, nose looks a little weird. But I mean, Robin looks. Oh man, Robin is Robining. And Nami's looking pretty fly too. It's just an awesome color spread. I really ought to make like a color spread tier list at some point. But let's press on. Loki versus Emu. The deadly battle continues. Let me move my mic a little closer. Make sure you guys can pick me up. Ragnar. Nushia. Nushia had long waited for one who could exact revenge upon Mu. Excuse me. I got the deep itch. I got the brain worms. Okay. Nushia had long waited for one who could exact revenge upon Mu. Is that not so? Who's Nushia? Nushia. Good morning, mermaid. Is Nushia gonna be like the OG Poseidon? Scree. Apparently that name has some significance to our little rodent friend, and he doesn't really like Emu talking about them. Her, him, them. Enough with the chatter. I've never seen a bastard that tough before. Mu and Nushia are Emu's unique first and second person pronouns, replacing the usual words for I and you. Neither term exists in standard Japanese. Japanese. Man, I gotta lock in. So Nushia is his version of you. That's extremely confusing. You had long waited for one who could exact revenge upon me. Is that not so? Loki, Straw Hat Luffy. You and thy kind were never destined to serve me. Thus, here and now shall I wipe thee from existence. I'm gonna try and like read his dumb made up pronouns like this from now on to just try and make it more readable. As was the case with Dozon. Dozon? What is Dozon? Is that another one of Emu's made up words? Or is this a new word? As was the case with Dozon. Ragna Twinheim. Grammar. Grammar is a legendary sword of Norse mythology, also known as the Blade of Wrath. So I can't tell. Is that Emu's move because he's got like some sort of big weapon, or is it Loki's move because it's Norse? Ragna Twinheim is the localized form of Ragna Jinheim, with twin added to reflect the attack's literal meaning, Iron Thunder Twin Arms World. Wow, what a mouthful. So, wow, so Loki can actually like low key, no pun intended, actually do some like weather control because he just called down two lightning bolts from the sky. And then Loki, not Loki, Emu. See, I'm getting mixed up because Emu kind of looks like, because he's got the big horns, he makes me think of like Marvel's Loki. And he's just got more of the Loki build. He makes, what is this? Okay, so he turns his weapon into some sort of big flaming spinning glaive. West Village, bring the kids back to safety, and we're back with Zaza, the dream version of Zaza. Ripley's here. It's 10 out of 10 right away. I just saw my girl Ripley. Wow, we won't let you take them away. Oh, who's this now? Now we've got another cutie in our midst. Like, look at this. Look at this one right here. With her cute little short hair with the little braids coming down in front. After all we did to save them, we ain't handing over the children. Stop, all of you. Don't move a muscle. The blood transfusion's not complete. You'll really die at this rate. Doesn't matter at all. We'd rather die than let children be taken. Wah, Kya, please help. So Zaza cutting loose with some sort of like crazy rain attack where she like hoses them down hardcore, getting out the fire hoses. 7 of them. Huh. Fine enough. Let's move, Zaza. What the hell is that supposed to be? So it's this giant, beautiful, like, rain goddess dream woman. Is Sanji going to attack it, or is it going to be too beautiful and he's going to be frozen in his tracks? Oh. What happened here? So did the giant block of ice not break? Brooke, you and that woman. That's weird. I really thought it would have shattered. Brooke, you and that woman. Why'd you go fight her? I could tell something was seriously wrong, so I jumped in. Do you know her, Brooke? Like an enemy you fought long ago? Not an enemy, just someone I never imagined to see again. But this situation has me confused. Oh boy, are we finally gonna cut loose with it? Because if it's really her, she should be 77 now. So that's someone else, right? She's a Tenryubito after all. Tenryubito. Back then, she was the princess of my homeland. I never saw her again after she left for the Holy Land. Huh? Brooke, that woman's still frozen solid. Her condition's unknown, but if this keeps up. So basically, that Tenryubito is the spinning image of someone you know. But that doesn't change the fact that she came here to attack Elbath. However, the one who untied the ropes binding us earlier was most definitely her. We're out. All right, we broke free. Pretty sure it was my psychic powers. Why would she do something like that? Get away, Brooke. How could she possibly know who I am? And then she transformed into that demonic form again. Her initial persona, the persona that saved us, and then that demonic form. It's almost as though there were 3 distinct personas. Wait, does that mean she's being controlled? That's pretty much what I expected. So, yeah, it's someone who joined the Tenryubito for some reason and got brainwashed and then controlled. So it's kind of what I expected. She's like, because it's a beautiful woman, right? Beautiful women in One Piece are never truly evil. They're always like being controlled or manipulated in some way. So someone Brooke used to know, and then they got wrapped up in all this other stuff and got controlled. And so Brooke thought that she was just evil and hated her. But she's actually probably going to turn out to be good, and they're going to break her loose from her control, and she's going to go back to being good. Back then, we never even considered that possibility. But after seeing people turn into demons here today, I can't shake this horrible feeling in my chest. Brooks using the old noggin. He's using his brain, even though he doesn't have a brain anymore. But, I mean, hey, that's more credit than I'm used to giving to fictional characters. Usually they are pretty dense and don't pick up on things like that or connect dots very easily. This ain't good, Brooke. Decide quickly. Do we keep her alive or finish her off? If you don't decide, we can't act either. This was long, long ago. Truly long ago. Back then she was just a little girl and I was young too. In the now fallen kingdom of Asperia. A musically vibrant kingdom packed with instrument craftsmen. West Village, 70 years ago, at 4 a.m., which is important, apparently. 4 a.m. John Jaka. 1, 2, 3, 4. Morning skies aglow. Good morning, mermaid. Nobody knows that this is clearly supposed to be a song, but I can't even guess what the cadence is supposed to be, so I'm just gonna read it. Morning skies aglow. Good morning, mermaid. Nobody knows the secret that she holds. So many oceans still unknown. I want to see them on my own. Good morning, mermaid. Good morning, Asperia. No more sitting around waiting for the wind. Let's hit the seas again today, baby. Keep it down. I've got a hangover. The back streets? Shut up. Morningbrook, the port, the arena. Is that supposed to be Gunko? Oh, it's got like a giant harp. It's almost like Disco Ball Island or Dance Island or whatever it was from that one special. Someday I want to meet a sexy mermaid. Shut up, Brooke. Ah, it's the great Brooke. Throw me out of the battle core. Soul gets ripped away. Bad ending. Bring me a gun. Yeah. This is the land of instrument craftsmen, the kingdom of Asperia. Really pretty art, by the way. I don't comment on the art much, but this is really, really cool. I like this a lot. Military headquarters, Asperia Palace. Captain, come on, teach us your slice style, too. Swift slash. You sure dote on Princess Shuri. Quit whining. You want me to teach you? Learn the basics first, dreamers. Now then, what are we eating tonight? I'm starving. Carrying Binks' sake for you. Oh, wow. He is old school. Man, young, Brooke. Wow. He looks like somebody. I can't put my finger on it, but he looks like a famous artist. Sailing the whole day through. Leave it to the waves and breeze. Past the tide. Dusk sings with ease. Birds keep singing as they fly, drawing circles way up high. And that's Gunko. So she's always had the eye thing going on. I thought maybe that would be like a pact thing, maybe like a demonic possession thing, but no, she's just always been like that. And she's super duper cute. Oh my goodness. She is so adorable. So Kingdom of Asperia, Royal Escort Corps, Captain Brooke, age 20. and Kingdom of Vesperia Princess Shuri, age 7. So, yeah, we did always know that he was like a captain or a sergeant or whatever. He was a ranking officer in some military in some country, but I honestly didn't think that we would ever come back to it. I thought that was just like a throwaway line. Uh, your mom's super strong, you know. Lady Candile. Is it Candle or Candile? I'm going to go with Candile because that sounds a little fancier. Uh, Lady Candile, the light of my life. Falling for someone's wife is dangerous, Brooke. Dangerous? How? Love is free. Oh boy. Free 99, maybe. But that's a. For being such a small child, she is pretty savvy. Being like, hold on a sec, you're macking on my mom. And my mom's husband is this surly guy. Wow. What a dude. Oh my gosh. What a freaking character design. King of the Spirit, King Ruin. That name couldn't possibly be, like, couldn't possibly portend anything in the future. Death penalty sound dangerous enough? Penalty? Yikes, boss. No, I mean, Your Majesty. Papa, you're plotting my assassination, aren't you? Absolutely not. That's awful. I'll wait until your time comes. Oh my gosh. Brooke never not shooting his shot. Hey, Brooke, just forget about my mom. In return, when I grow up, I'll marry you instead. Oh my gosh, that is no, no. This is like everything about this is creep. Hey, Shuri, that's the kind of cute thing daughters say to their dads. Uh, wait, what? There's a lot of weird dialogue in this chapter. I don't know about all of this. This is some weird stuff. No thanks. I don't want a wife who's a total wet blanket. That's your objection? You're 20 right now, and she's 7. What are you doing? What is everybody doing in this chapter? This is. No. Hey, how dare you dump my daughter in front? She's 7. I'm devoted to one woman only. Deh. Your Majesty, apologies for interrupting your fun moment. Deh, that's Gunko's laugh? That sound reminds me of oh, what's his name? The mucus guy, the slobcore guy. What's his name? Second in command of the Don Quixote family, Treble. It reminds me of Treble's Beh. A gang cavalry unit is moving from the port toward the town. The escort corps are in town, but they're badly outnumbered. Reinforcements from the palace are on the way, but they probably won't make it in time. The opera house, the port, the palace. There's a bridge. So they're attached to another island? What's their target? While watching the opera in town, they kept yelling Queen Candile's name. What did you say? Was it the Muron gang? That's right. Those bastards have been after Candile for years. How did they get here without us noticing? Send word to Candile to not leave the opera house. The opera house Dendenmushi is set in silent mode. Brooke, do something. They're going to take away Mom. The Muron gang. Something feels off. I ran into them at the port earlier today. Opera Street. Bam, bam. Kya. It's the gang cavalry. Man, that dude looks nuts. He looks like a zombie. At the Opera House, truly a splendid show. Now then, come on out, Candile. Boss Muron's orders are clear. If she refuses, we shoot. Today's the day we settle this. You're gonna pay for deceiving our boss, Candeal. Her Majesty must not leave the opera. Man, that guy's got a beak. He looks like the freaking Sandman from that one claymation animation. Kya, Brooke, it'll be fine, Your Majesty. Her Highness is incredibly strong. She won't be captured so easily. More importantly, their failure to notice is concerning, even after meeting me at the port. I already sliced them apart, huh? Wow, massive Brooke flex. Like, Brooke upscale, but in the past? Like, these are dudes wow. I am, like, blown away. Like, that is next level, like, teleports behind you, she's sword, nothing personnel kid. Where this is somebody that Brooke sliced up this morning. It's like the afternoon now, and now they're succumbing to their wounds. Like, wow. What's this? Wait, could these guys, they've already been sliced apart? That means that was Captain Brooke's quick draw slash. It's Sanata Hancho Yahahazugiri. Sir Brooke, he's so cool. Her Majesty stepped down. Stunning. Back in the Kingdom of Asperia 70 years ago, 2 stars shone above all others. One was Candeal, the former captain of the Royal Escort Corps, and Asperia's current queen. The other one's music may be unpopular, but his targets don't even realize they've been sliced. The captain of the surprise attack unit, Brooke of the Hummingblade, famed by the title Swift Slash. Lively as ever. Man, Candeal is fine. She is so fine. I love the power suits with the freaking epaulettes and the I don't even know what you call this, but dang, she's hot. She's hot and powerful, and power is hot. And she got legs for days. I'm this guy right here. This guy just like quietly smiling behind her. Yeah, that's me. Brooke in the days of youth. At the time, the kingdom was at peace. 1183 end. And as far as I can tell, there's no break next week, so we should be on to stream next week as well. I mean, I was already going to stream anyway because I want to go ahead and wrap up The Devil May Cry. Flix May Cry. I was only planning on watching a couple episodes today. So not a long stream, because even though I'm more, my energy's a little higher than it was last time I streamed, I'm still kind of looking forward to mostly spending the next week just chilling out. I'm looking forward to getting my summer vacay started because it's been a long and harrowing couple of years. Like pretty much going back to when Cross Age Productions started, it's just been like a string of obstacles. And so it'd be really nice to just have a summer mostly to myself, still trying to focus on the channel, but I really need to relax. And so I was planning on this being a pretty short stream, so I'm just going to go ahead and watch like a couple episodes of Flix May Cry. But yeah, about the chapter, it's I don't know what to make of it. Because this feels very weird. And like almost coming out of nowhere. Like I don't know why, but I expected like the whole Brooke Gunko thing to be pretty like swiftly and simply explained, not like a whole other flashback, which I'm like, boy, the whole like Harold Loki Rocks flashback was already just so long and intensive. Now that there's another flashback coming, I'm getting really, really worried that it's going to be another like really long, drawn out affair where we're just going to be stuck in the past for months. This could like majorly increase the runtime of of LBAF. Because if anything, this is something that I would expect to like. This is something I would expect Oda to say for like the denouement, as the arc is wrapping up. Maybe we get a little bit more about this backstory, this particular backstory, but we're diving into it now. Like, geez, I don't know. If it's gonna be another flashback, like you know, like Rocks and God Valley and all that, then this could push the runtime the uh, of the Elbaf arc all the way to like November or December. I was thinking more like October maybe, but like dang. Um, this is tough. I don't necessarily like that we're about to get another lengthy flashback. It's also a flashback with like really weird undertones where Brooke is into like Brooke is into this MILF, but then the daughter is into Brooke, and then the dad is just saying weird stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know about any of these characters or the things that they're saying. It's weird. It's really weird. Everybody's moving weird right now. And beyond that, there's not really a whole lot going on in this chapter. So it's just kind of like whatever. I don't know. This kind of bodes ill for the future of the Elbaf arc because I honestly did not much care the for the last flashback. Like Rox just wasn't. He just wasn't him like he was presented to be initially. And when he kind of took over the story, it just felt like a massive distraction. Mostly just telling the audience what they already knew, just like with a bit more detail to it, mostly frivolous. I mean, we learned about the Davy clan and then a little bit more about Dragon's backstory, but beyond that, not really a whole lot going on. So, I mean, I don't know. And now we're getting this. Like, I hope this flashback is very relevant to what's going on. Because I'm not ready for another lengthy distraction, you know? I don't know. I don't know. But that'll do it for One Piece for now. But I had some other One Piece related stuff that I want to check out real quick. These are pretty short, just little like bite-sized videos, but they're from our boy Nakama Gecko that I want to check out real quick. So let me adjust the opacity slightly. I think that should be fine. But like just to showcase it real quick, so we got One Piece characters that fell off by Nakama Gecko. This was posted 5 months ago, and I don't know why I picked this up before, but I'm looking forward to watching this one. Even though, judging from the thumbnail, I feel like it's gonna be a bunch of like really basic, like boilerplate opinions. I mean, we all know that Smoker is like one of the biggest fall offs in One Piece history, where he was initially presented as invincible, and now the devil fruit that had made him invincible before now just comes off as a massive liability. Akainu is just a massive dude. Nothing. He just spends all his time behind his desk, uh, not doing jack because I feel like Akainu low key knows that he's been power crept and he's not ready to jump back into the fray just to get washed like at the time dude made out of lava, like absolutely terrifying. But now that we've got things like Ryuo that lets you do damage to someone without even touching them, it's like not really all that terrifying, honestly. I feel like Luffy could pack up Akainu pretty easily, all things considered. Like if anything, Luffy versus Akainu is now probably a little bit easier than Luffy versus Kizaru. He's just got the loadout for it. He's got like all the counter moves going on when it comes to fighting dude, where his whole thing is like he is he is the floor is lava personified. Like the whole thing is you can't touch him. Well, now you don't have to because of Ryo and advanced Haoshoku no Haki and all that kind of thing. And then Chopper, like the ultimate do nothing. Like at least now in Elbaf, he's been given a little bit more to do. He's got some doctoring going on. Chopper's doctoring. And then this this low key implication that his devil fruit is actually like a weird sort of counter to Emu's devil fruit. That's what I'm rolling with anyway. Like the fact that Chopper is just smacking these demons on the back of the head and they turn back into normal people. I can only attribute that to being like a human fruit thing. But yeah, we're going to check that out. And then after that, we're going to check out ranking the weirdest One Piece characters, also from Nakama Gecko. So definitely check these out. And as always, I just want to remind people that Cross Age Productions is not about parasitizing or pirating content. We are about criticism. We're about curation, critique, and discussion. And we like to support our fellow internet entertainers. So before going any deeper, I just want to say if you want to go out and support this guy, I suggest you do so now or like after the stream. Again, this is Nakama Gecko right here. We've checked out his videos before. He's pretty awesome. So I would say go ahead and give him a sub. As you can see, I've already subbed to him myself. But for now, let's go ahead and check this out. Again, this is One Piece characters that fell off. So let's go ahead and fire this up. And I think I can go ahead and take the audio filter off. So here we go. Let's do this. And I gotta make sure to unmute my desktop. So here we go.
Have you ever really loved a show just for it to turn into a dead horse they keep beating? Or a game that eventually turned into a corporate greed machine? Or most importantly, a character just for them to turn into an empty husk of a man with no personality, just a complete bomb? This is what we call the art of falling off. And
dude, you're this is already hitting a little too close to home. Okay, hold on. Let me blow this up. Let me blow this up and let me actually like crank up the opacity a little bit more.
I have personally experienced this many times.
Oh, have you? Because I mean, your mascot is Gecko Moria, so I wonder if you have experience with characters falling off. Or just that opening bit. Like, how did he put it again?
Have you ever really loved a show just for it to turn into a dead horse they keep beating?
A show that you love that they turn into a dead horse beating. Well, I mean, I hate to admit it, but that is kind of One Piece in a small sense. Where, like I keep saying it feels so much like the Straw Hats just aren't the focus anymore. They don't feel important like they used to. And so, yeah, dragging this like large group of core characters around only for them to not contribute in any meaningful way. At least now Brooke is getting some spotlight. So in some small, very small way, that trend is being reversed. But a lot of Straw Hats, they as of like I'm trying to pinpoint exactly when I started to feel this way, right? I feel like the last arc that really like squarely focused on the Straw Hats was Whole Cake Island, where uh, Nami got spotlight, Jinbei got spotlight, uh, Sanji and Brooke got spotlight. Like Luffy too. Like everybody except Chopper, because Chopper's Chopper and he sucks. But like almost all the Straw Hats, they had their moments. They had stuff, and even though I didn't really like what they did with what Oda did with Sanji at all, I could at least say that that arc was in a big way about him. It still felt like the Straw Hats were at the center of the story. Starting with Wano, though, they've just been getting kind of crowded out. But yeah, so let's fire this back up.
This is what we call the art of falling off. And I have personally experienced this many times, especially when it comes to One Piece. You know,
Yeah.
that tiny.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? It's One Piece. It's One Piece. It's a big series about a big world with a big cast of characters. Like you can only do so much. Like you can't juggle all of them. You can't keep all the balls in the air all the time. So of course some of them are gonna fall off. I mean, who in this world can juggle like 1,000 balls? What writer can juggle 1,000 characters?
Indie manga this channel is about. So I'm here today to find out which character in One Piece really fell off the hardest. And these will just get worse as we go on. But
The hardest fall off. It's really gonna be hard to beat Smoker. Like again, went from invincible to very, very invincible. Um, Chopper, it's hard for Chopper to say that he ever really fell off because he was never really fully on. Like his first proper fight scene ever, he had to whip out his like little limited time power up gimmick, and that just was not a good impression for Chopper. Like from the start, you'd think that his first fight ever, he wouldn't have to break out the limited time power up, right? Just I
before
don't
we
know.
get to the top candidates, we gotta hit a little warm up, get the blood flowing, you know. Let's talk about Brownbeard, aka Chadros Hygieus.
Okay, Brownbeard, like it's like I said, you can't fall off when you weren't on in the first place. Brownbeard was always a nobody.
What did you say?
How the f do you pronounce that? I bet you didn't expect to.
Hold on a second. So that's his real name,
Yes.
What did you say?
How the
Chadros Higelius. Higelius. Okay. The fact that Chad is in this guy's name is just like an insult to the Chad legacy because like this guy's not a Chad.
do you pronounce that? I bet you didn't expect to see him here. But think about it. He was introduced right in the wake of Whitebeard's death, taking over some of his old territory, like a real big shot. And most
I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna have to stop you right there and say, taking over someone's territory after they're dead does not make you a big shot. It makes you a vulture. It makes you a pathetic little carry-on creep who just feeds off the legacy of other people when they are no longer around to defend it.
most importantly, he had Beard in his name. He was part of the legendary dynasty.
No, he was not. Like, look at this guy. Look at this aura vacuum here. Ain't no way should this guy even be in the same picture as Whitebeard and Blackbeard. This guy should be right up there with Peachbeard. You know, guys who just ride on the coattail of other people, aping their styles. The whole reason this guy called himself Brownbeard was because he knew Whitebeard was scary and Blackbeard was scary, so he thought if he called himself Brownbeard, that would make him scary. Dude's an absolute fraud.
Every Beard character had been very important up until that point, and he even had a distinct laugh. All the stars were aligned, so 11
No, dude,
days
no.
after thinking, wow, this guy might become a real threat in this new era Blackbeard was yapping about.
No.
Brace yourself, maybe even an emperor. Can you imagine that now? It's hard, because in reality he was crippled by the lamest supernova Hawkins, and reduced to a desperate test.
Okay, I really don't like Hawkins, but calling him the lamest when Erouge exists, the only way I can excuse that is if you happen to forget that Erouge even exists. Which, you know, if that did happen, I would excuse that, because Erouge really is just an absolute nothing burger of a character. Like, he's just a big nothing nobody. Yeah.
Subject on Punk Hazard. He hit rock bottom, got saved by Luffy, his whole crew was wiped out, and his final move was turning himself into the Marines. Pretty tough, bro. Next up we got Akainu, and even though I never liked him, I can admit that he used to be him. Back in...
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? What do you mean, like, you don't like him? Because there's two different ways to not like him. There's not liking him in the way that he isn't intentionally unlikable. Like, he's a heel, right? He's a jackass. You're supposed to not like him. But then there's, like, the actual not liking him. Like, not even liking him as a heel, not liking him as a villain. Like, you don't even think that he's a good character, right? Because that's a big difference. People who are, like, people who aren't critically minded and get irrationally, emotionally invested in a story don't always necessarily understand the difference between a good person and a good character. Like, Akainu is by no measure a good person, but he is a good character. He's a fun heel. It's fun watching him just be really unapologetically evil and at the same time feel entirely justified in every single one of his actions, no matter how disgusting they are.
Marineford, he was moving like Randy Orton in 2009. On your soul, we all thought Marineford would be destroyed when Yosu threw that iceberg. But Mr. Aura Farmer-in-Chief, you stood up and turned that ice into chopped up pieces, ready to serve. And he wasn't just physical. He must have read the 48 Laws of Power, because he used that dark psychology
What?
turned Squad against his own allies. And no, Squad definitely wasn't a complete imbecile that...
I'd never heard of the 48 Laws of Power. I have no idea what that is. That sounds like a power system in some obscure anime no one's heard of.
Just took Akainu's word for it. You don't understand the genius behind Akainu. And after a dominant showing during the whole war, he put on some YNW melee and showed us a masterclass in rage bait, which resulted in...
Oh my gosh, can we just... Now, hold on a second. I think we all need to really appreciate the massive step up in design that Akainu got in the anime. Because this is what he used to look like. He used to look like so basic and inexpressive and just boring. Like, Akainu in his debut in Marineford in the manga, honestly, I low-key thought that he just looked like ass. He looked terrible. He looked so boring. I hated his design. But in the anime, he looks stone cold.
Which
It's a massive difference.
To be served with icy drink. Damn, I actually feel bad for joking about Ace. I might not be seeing those pearly white gates, gang. Even when he got brutalized by Whitebeard, he still looked tough. He took it like a champ and even managed to split his mustache in half. But when Shanks suddenly spawned in and blocked his attack, that's when his stocks just started falling. You could never get...
Now, hold on a second. That's not fair, because this is Shanks. Like, Shanks is Yonko and one of One Piece's most mysterious characters. He's supposed to be over. You know? Saying that Akainu got blocked by Shanks, that should not result in Akainu stocks going down. That should result in Shanks' stocks going up. I don't know.
Guess how many
I don't know,
dragons
man.
have gone bankrupt since. His last real feat after that was of course beating Kuzan, and he deserves credit for that. Yeah, give him some applause, guys. But ever since, he hasn't left his desk.
See. I don't know about that because I think we all assumed from the beginning that Akainu was stronger than Aokiji, right? I mean, if ice versus fire is pretty evenly matched, then ice versus lava, and like obviously Sakazuki was going to take that one. And just the fact that he was the admiral who was saved for last, and then makes it all the way to fleet admiral, yeah, of course, you kind of took it for granted that he was stronger. But yes, the moment that Akainu stepped behind the desk and never got out from behind it, that was it. That was the actual moment that his stocks started tanking.
I mean, how comfortable can that desk be? Does he have some custom deluxe edition Mega Pro massage chair, or what's the deal? What I do know for a fact is that it's got a giant button reading Send Kizaru. This poor guy has been working overtime ever since Akainu got promoted. They even pushed the poor guy to tears. Akainu's been treating his workers worse than Mr. Bezos himself. Every time we see him, he's just
Dang.
other admiral. Be it Fujitora or Kizaru. Brother, do something yourself for once. Do you really have to unwind for over 2 years after?
You know what? Admiral stocks in general have seriously gone down, right? Because when's the last time an admiral did what they were supposed to? Like, go back to Fujitora, who let the Straw Hats clean things up, right? And then they didn't catch them. And then you flash forward to Ryogukyu, getting scared off like a little woodland critter by Shanks' hockey, because One Piece Film Red was coming out. We got to push that, even though when you really look at it, One Piece Film Red had basically nothing to do with Shanks. And then Kizaru getting destroyed by Luffy, things, no. Things not looking good for admirals. Although, if you really look at it, the overall track record of admirals, not really that tough. I mean, Aokiji had the Straw Hats running from the beginning. That's one thing. But at the end of the day, he still didn't capture them. He let them go. That's kind of bum behavior. I mean, it was the right thing to do, but it was an example of an admiral not doing what they're supposed to. Not necessarily because he's weak, but just because the admirals they don't do what they're supposed to. Their own agendas and philosophies always get in the way. And then Kizaru, he gets stopped by the geriatric Silver's Rayleigh, and I get that Silver's Rayleigh is supposed to be him, right? He's super tough, but still, that was another example of Kizaru of an admiral just not being able to control a situation. And it's not until Akainu comes and is the exception to the rule that an admiral actually does something.
The war. Did Whitebeard you up that bad? My man really went from one of the most intimidating villains to the celestial dragons.
I mean, to be fair, Akainu does probably have permanent injuries. He got really messed up by Whitebeard. And that was probably the only thing that made his fight with Aokiji fair in the long run, was the fact that Akainu was just fighting with a handicap. He got really, really beaten up, whereas Aokiji only took minor injuries during the Marineford arc. And so then it turned into this long, drawn-out battle, which I'm sure had Akainu injured even more. Now you see he's got all these like all this crazy scarification all over his body. So, when I said that Luffy could probably fold Akainu right now, I'm thinking of Akainu at his prime. I honestly don't think he is there anymore. I think he is past his prime. And so the prospect of Luffy fighting Akainu now, Akainu will get folded even harder, even faster.
Counten.
That's just my opinion.
How is this guy supposed to grow stronger and become one of the final villains when all he does is chomp cigars and file complaints?
Now hold on a second. Hold everything. Nobody said anything about Akainu being one of the final villains, alright? I mean, maybe once upon a time we entertained the idea of Luffy getting his vengeance against Akainu, but at this point, Akainu is basically just an extra hot stepping stone. And that's really all it is. The hot coals that Luffy walks on his way to fighting actually important villains.
His biggest feat post-time skip is handling the pain at the tattoo parlor.
Yeah. Yeah, Akainu's not him. We got bigger fish to fry now. Like, we've got folks like Emu and the Gorosei. Just way more important and scary, frankly.
If you don't want to fall off, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Then you'll get a glow up instead. Our next character didn't just fall off, he dove off the freaking red line. Smoker was such a badass when he was...
Yep, we all saw this coming. And not just because he was in the thumbnail. It's because, like as previously discussed, the guy started out invincible and now he's a punching bag.
Which is just objectively cool. Smoker was also the first Logia user we ever saw. He showed Luffy that it's not all about punching hard.
Also, I gotta say, well, first I gotta say that whole it's not all about punching hard. Guess what? It low key kind of is. Like, the solution to someone being made out of smoke is just punch hard enough to punch smoke. That's what hockey is. That's what Ryuo is. That's what Advanced House Shokuno Hockey is. It's all just different flavors of punching harder. Straight up. Second, the thing I was going to say was, does anybody kind of feel like Smoker's old pre-time skip design went harder than his new post-time skip design? They try to make him look cooler by giving him longer hair and sunglasses and stuff, but, I don't know, man. This Smoker, I can't put my finger on why, but it just seems to have way more aura.
That doesn't work on everyone. And if Dragon hadn't stepped in and helped him,
maybe, you know what it is? What it is I feel like there's a point where a character's toughness reaches critical mass. Smoker already has resting tough guy face, so trying to put sunglasses on top of that just makes him less expressive, which in many cases would make a character look tougher. But Smoker's expressions were already tough. So it's kind of it's like two positives that somehow come out to a negative.
His journey might have literally ended right there, and we'd all be doing something more important right now. But Smoker wasn't the man to give up. After intercepting some calls, he managed to track the Straw Hats to Alabasta, and he seemed dead set on capture.
Now, hold on, I gotta comment on this meme. There were legit Superhero Squad brands, children's laptops, oh man. Superhero Squad is ass, by the way. I'm sorry if you grew up with that, but I remember seeing that playing on TV as a teenager and thinking that it was just heinous. I really looked down on programming like that. Same goes with Crypto the Super Dog. Those superhero shows that were clearly made for really, really little kids. So annoying.
He managed to track the Straw Hats to Alabasta, and he seemed dead set on capturing Luffy. He failed that time too because Luffy got help from Dunkin' Donut, but it seemed like Smoker could become a real rival to Luffy. Maybe he could even become what Garp was to Roger. Boy, how wrong we were. After that, I guess...
No, that's something that's very interesting about One Piece is there have been multiple attempts at giving Luffy a rival, and they basically all failed horribly. Like, Kid was really set up to be Luffy's rival within the pirating world, and he turned out to be a bum. Smoker was getting set to be Luffy's Garp, and turned out to not be that at all. Only now, very recently, is Kobe maybe shaping up to be a worthy rival to Luffy, because he's got like that. He's got that honesty impact, right? He's got the big explosive, mountain crunching, Garp flavored punch, right? So maybe Kobe is ready to step up, or will be ready to step up soon, now that he's gone like massive, massive upscale, like to the moon. And not even that Avila Pizarro is tough or anything, but just that parallel, the idea that it is Kobe's spin on a Garp original. That just gives you the impression that, yeah, he really is him. All like at long last, Kobe has he has arisen to him status. But I mean, for the most part, these rival characters haven't shaped up much. Oda seems to really struggle with them.
You thought that chasing Luffy was pretty hard, so I'm gonna just capture some fodder for a while. Because we didn't see him for some 100 chapters until Marineford. And what did he do there? He tried.
Hold on a second. I want to mess with the opacity on this a little bit more. Because this guy's showing a lot of anime footage, and I don't want to get like copyright struck or anything.
Tried to stop Luffy again, but he got absolutely mugged by Boa.
Let me tweak it a little bit more. There we go.
We're noticing a pattern here. Every time Smoker was close to getting Luffy, a strong ally of his saved him. You almost feel bad for the guy. But up to this point, I bet most people in the fandom...
Yeah, that was his last chance to actually do something.
Still respected him, and maybe there was still hope for him. That would all change in Punk Hazard. Before this arc, Oda must have been thinking to himself, how can I make this man lose all his aura, look as weak as possible, and be a complete bum within just one arc? Because my man was...
See, that's the thing is, like, Smoker's not even at the center of Oda's thought process at that point. At this point, Oda has moved on to other stronger characters. Like, this is how the like jobber food chain works, right? Is you think of who the audience is led to believe is strong now, then take those characters and feed them to the newer, stronger characters. That's really how jobbers work. Is they get little weak wins. So then when the characters that are actually strong show up and beat them, they look strong. So it's not about Smoker. It's about everyone that beats Smoker. It's about putting Virgo over. It's about putting Dofi over. It's about putting everyone over.
On the ground
but Smoker.
He got defeated by Law in like 2.5 panels.
Law too. Law. I knew I was forgetting someone.
No, wait, not like that. Like literally out of his body. Then he got to experience being a woman for a while, before getting choked by Caesar and left on the ground again. Later on, he definitely looked stronger during his fight against Virgo, even flexing some of the new haki he learned. But before he could get too excited, Virgo roasted his entire fighting style and finished him off with a bamboo staff. And the verbal abuse didn't end there.
Yeah, that really puts into perspective how much stronger Virgo's hockey is. When Smoker has like a metal jite, Virgo has a bamboo stick, and the bamboo stick cleaves through the metal jite. That's really bad.
call Smoker talentless and a disgraceful leader to his men. Like, come on, at this point you're beating the Smokers a bum into our heads with a giant hammer. And after all that, we're still not done, because Doflamingo had to show up just to personally fold him like a lawn chair. And Smoker only survived because Aokiji happened to be in the neighborhood. Bro went from dealing with people who rescued Luffy to having to be rescued himself. It's harder to think of a bigger fall from grace than this. In fact, I can only think of one. And this next one hits me the hardest. And I see
It's got to be Chopper. Chopper's the one who is in the. He's the only one in the thumbnail who hasn't talked about yet. But again, I have to stress, you can't really fall off if you weren't on in the first place. And Chopper just was never really there, was never really him. He might be a main cast member, but he has never been depicted as being truly strong.
simply can't think about it without getting irritated, because I used to love Chopper, to the point that he was one of my favorite characters pre-time skip. I recently rewatched Drum Island, and let me tell you, there are few arcs that are that touching. According to me, it might be the most underappreciated one in all of One Piece. And that is largely because of Chopper. His struggle with identity, being cast away by both the reindeers and the humans, until Hiruluk found him, and their relationship is just amazing to watch. And the absolute lengths Chopper was willing to go to save him. And that cherry blossom at the end, dog, tears were shed. And even after that, he was out there in Alabasta and Skypiea, actually conquering his fears, utilizing his different forms, and having creative fights. He felt like a real character with real problems. And then we
Yeah, that's as much as I'll say about Chopper. Is at least back then, even if he wasn't a strong fighter, even if he had to use his little rumble ball in pretty much every fight in order to be competitive, he was at least a character who had focus and had dialogue that mattered. He had screen time that mattered. Now he really doesn't matter that much at all.
hit Enies lobby.
He's kind of starting to matter again, but he's still got a long way to go.
Peak fiction. Chopper backed into a corner, decides to pop a third rumble ball, and goes full monster point. He really becomes the thing he spent his whole life being called, just to save his friends. It was raw, it was symbolic, man, it was everything. You looked at that and thought, yeah, this reindeer is built different. But then the time skip hit, and Oda's marketing team must have looked at their most marketable plushie and said, you know what, he doesn't need to be a character anymore. Post time skip Chopper didn't just stop growing, he started actively shrinking. His unique form switching combat
Very literally. I want to just take a moment to unpack what happened to Chopper and Wano, right? Like, Chopper's big power up is his new rumble ball that Caesar helps him create that makes Monster Point last longer. Instead of 3 minutes, it's 30 minutes. Like, ooh, very, very fancy. But you gotta think about this. Not only does the new Rumble Ball have a way more severe penalty where it turns him into baby Gramps Chopper, like little itty bitty teeny tiny, like a new form that is weaker than any of his other forms. But it doesn't, like, Monster Point not lasting long enough was not the problem. The problem was that it was just weak. This was the form that was getting folded by giant, like artificially giant children that's put up less of a fight against Big Mom than Brook did. That's where the best he could do against Queen was just kind of keep him busy until Sanji showed up. Like, Monster Point is just too weak. Like, if you're already a weakling, like guess what? It doesn't matter if you get to be a weakling for 3 minutes or 30 minutes. You're still a weakling. It's just like, oh, great. You get beat up for 3 minutes. Now you get beat up for 30 minutes. Wow. So, like, really, when you think about it, his power up in Wano was actually a power down, where it has a more severe drawback for no real benefit whatsoever. Like, whatsoever. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He could be in Monster Point for 30 minutes. He could be in Monster Point for 30 days, 30 years. He could be in Monster Point permanently. Doesn't matter. Monster Point has been power crept into oblivion. Can't do nothing. Chopper just can't fight, period. Like, the days of Chopper being a formidable fighter are over until he gets an actual power up. Let's see the Rumble Ball that gives us the next step up. That gives us that which is to Monster Point what Monster Point was to all of Chopper's other points. Right? Let's see that. Let's see the next real level up. Not fake level ups like, oh, you get to be a jobber for 10 times as long.
Style, mostly replaced by one boring kung fu point.
That's another thing. Chopper gets all these like hot new forms, doesn't use them. He pretty much just uses Kung Fu Point, which I don't hate as much as some people do. But what happened to Horn Point? He used that, I think, literally once ever in the debut, and then that was it. Even though that is easily his coolest, most aesthetically pleasing form. Just my only gripe is that the horns are too big. I guess that's the point. Like, the horns are supposed to be disproportionately huge because it is Horn Point, but like whatever. Like, his design from like the head down is so perfect that having these big giant horns just really throws it off to me.
Can't stand it. His incredibly powerful monster point that actually meant something every time he used it, now reserved for clearing out random goons. And worst of all, we didn't even see when he learned to control it, when he fully embraced to be a monster. That just happened sometime off screen. His compelling struggle got flattened into 3 mascot traits. He gets mad if you call him a pet, he loves cotton candy, and he slaps band-aids on people. He's been a background character for almost all of post-time skip. His only real impactful moment came in Wano, when he cured the Oni virus.
No, I'm gonna contest that because when you really look at the raid on Onigashima in the long run, the whole Ice Oni subplot, completely pointless. The only real, like, the only takeaway from that was that it got the waiters and the pleasures to switch sides. But so what? They're fodder. It doesn't matter whose side they're on. They're still there to get their butts whooped. They don't matter. They're just background noise. Window dressing for the fights that actually matter. So who cares what side they're on? The entire Ice Oni subplot was pointless and renders Chopper's achievements in that subplot a moot point. It didn't matter. None of it mattered.
But even that was more of a medical feat than a character moment. And just like that, the layered character of Tony Chopper became a mascot. Let me know if you all want a part 2 of this, and also which characters you want me to talk about. I've heard that these videos on screen are really good. You should listen to my sources.
Alright. That was a good, fun video, although, like, as usual, I have my disagreements with Nakama Gecko. Like, I never invested in Brownbeard Coin. Like, I like Akainu as a character, but yes, he did fall off. And then Smoker, just, like, really basic opinion, all things considered. And then Chopper, I will once again assert that you can't fall off if you were never on. Now, I would like to dig into this video right away, but I really got to take a bathroom break. So I'll be back in a few minutes. And then we'll dig into this video and then the trailer for the last Flix Bender. And then we'll watch a couple episodes of Flix May Cry. And then we'll go ahead and call it a night. So be right back. Whew. All right, folks, we're back in the game. Let's jump right back into it. So the next Nakama Gecko video I want to check out came out just yesterday. It is ranking the weirdest One Piece characters, and as you can see, we've already got some major contenders.
Weird typically means very unusual, bizarre, or strangely out of the ordinary. If it's one thing One Piece does not have a shortage of, it's characters that fit that description. Most famously in terms of their design, which can be so unusual that they literally turn people off from even starting One Piece. I'm on a quest to rank the less talked about.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I've never been that big a fan of the One Piece art style. I'll put it this way. I can appreciate the strengths that the One Piece art style brings. It's very expressive. It can realize some really elaborate, fascinating, enchanting like backgrounds and environments and stuff. But a lot of the times, yeah, the character designs are a little too out there for me. And that's always been something that holds One Piece back for me just like a little bit. But I mean, obviously we're big fans of One Piece around here, so it's not really that big a deal. Honestly, this is gonna be weird to say, but I feel like there were two major primers for me to get warmed up to get to the point where I could accept One Piece into my heart. One was Zatch Bell, because that's another series that has like really, really out there character designs. And then the other one is Ed, Edd n Eddy. Ed, Edd n Eddy was a cartoon that I initially walked away from when it premiered because I just thought it was so ugly and stupid looking. And then over time, it's like after catching little glimpses of it, it sort of endeared itself to me. And it's when I started to realize that there is more to life than just looking cool or even being cool. Like, there's just a very wide world of aesthetics out there. It doesn't have to always be about what's cool. I mean, think about it this way. If you're just looking at like character designs, then or like even action scenes, then I think a lot of people would agree that Naruto and Bleach are cooler. That's the number one appeal to those series. One's about like ninjas doing like all sorts of cool ninja sorcery, and the other one is a whole bunch of like uh, samurai teleporting behind each other and sheathing their swords and saying nothing personnel, kid. Before their opponent realizes that they've been cut down by the glorious Nippon steel folded over 1,000 times. But there's just not a lot to them beyond that. They don't have enough substance for me. To me, those are very style over substance. Whereas One Piece, I think, is substance over style. That's just my opinion, though.
Aspects in One Piece. We've done silhouettes, dads, and foreshadowing. Let's continue the trend by ranking the weirdest characters in the story. Now, how exactly am I ranking these? There are basically only two criteria: character design and personality. If a character has a really wacky design but an average Joe personality, that's gonna drag it down on the list. It's the combination of a total nut job and bizarre appearance we're after, which will skyrocket you to the top of the list. Let's start with the man of 1,000 shins, Vice Admiral Red King.
As I understand it, this guy is based on an Ultraman villain. And, yeah.
This is one of those that we One Piece fans are used to at this point. None of us was surprised when a six-shinned Vice Admiral showed up on Egghead, but if you showed him to someone who's never seen the show, they would likely question what the hell is wrong with it. He doesn't only
Yeah, the design is really bad. Something about it is strangely familiar, though. I feel like there was a character like that in like a children's cartoon that I saw
have
once when I
shins.
was
When I
when I was
first saw
little.
him, I thought he would fight similarly to Don Shin Yao or something.
Don Chinjao's so bad, man, and that's terrible. I hate that guy's design.
But nope, he uses a massive gauntlet. He's got a very creative tattoo on his neck. Like, how did he even come up with that? He certainly won't win any Vice Admiral beauty competitions, but surprisingly, he's got a very normal personality until he lost his.
Instead of chins, though, they just look like a bunch of mouths. Like, imagine how cursed he would look if all of a sudden, like, sets of teeth peered out from each and every one of those fat folds. And it was actually just a bunch of mouths and they all started chattering.
Slapping contest to Frankie, he didn't say much, but when he did,
Like Slifer the Sky Dragon times 6.
it just sounded like stuff you'd hear from some random NPC Marine commander. So despite his unconventional looks, I can't put him any higher than mildly odd. Next up, we have the physical manifestation of a bad acid trip. One say. I'm not sure if I want to try whatever Oda was on was creating him. This freak works for CP7.
Look at that build. Look at his face, man. Look at how narrow his eyes are. He's almost got the freaking Wallace and Gromit eyes going on. He's nearly got the Wallace and Gromit mouth, too.
MVP run in the sea train. Most Cyberpol members are trained assassins, specializing in stealth and martial arts. But the recruitment standards apparently also included can produce spaghetti through nose. Because Wansei's entire fighting style revolves around making ramen noodles inside his own body. He shoves flour into his mouth, moves the dough around in there like a human cement mixer, and then shoots fully cooked noodles out of his nose. He has a full ramen mech suit. Imagine training your entire life as a government assassin only
When I was a young One Piece fan, this was one of the characters who really tested my ability to like continue watching this.
to get folded by a sentient bowl of noodles.
This guy sticks out like a sore thumb in what is otherwise like a very, very deadly serious saga.
On roller skates, but the thing that truly pushes Wansei into nightmare territory is his face. He permanently looks like he just heard the funniest joke in human history. Even when he's angry or terrified, the smile never changes. Fun fact, Wansei was originally supposed to be a sexy female chef. A few things changed on the way. Just imagine waking up and seeing this guy in your room. Nightmare fuel, no question about it. If there's one guy people love to hate, it's Scratchman Apu.
Nah, sorry, bro. We are Apu fans around here, which is why it irritates me to no end that we got robbed of the long promised Apu versus Brook fight. Like, come on. Both Devil Fruit users, the Devil Fruits kind of complement their musical ability. Both on opposite sides of a fight. Neither of those characters even really had anything to do during the raid on Onigashima. They just got kind of like ping-ponged around. And Oda never thought to pit those two against each other. The hell was that about? That was terrible. Apu got done so dirty, and us Apu fans along with him. Man. But yeah, I don't really get the Apu hate. I think it's just another thing where, like, when people don't like a character as a person, they associate that with them being a bad character. Well, it's not like that. Like again, Akainu is a bad person, but he's a good character. A lot of people don't draw that distinction. And so if there's a character they don't like, they just hate them outright and don't want to see them and don't want to have anything to do with them. And it just seems like an immature approach to fiction.
Genuinely seen more hate directed toward him than to that painter guy. Let's find out if he deserves it. Visually speaking, Apu looks like a SoundCloud rapper from the Grand Line. This dude has piano teeth, lightning bolt hair, obviously very long arms since he's part of the long arm tribe. His devil fruit is actually busted if you don't know its weakness. If you hear his tunes, congrats, your torso just exploded. However, when his enemy realizes they can just cover their ears, it becomes pretty useless.
That seems bizarre to me, right? Because it's one thing if it's like a hypnotic sound that affects your perception of reality, but this is a devil fruit power that has a very real effect on the real world. Like, just because you cover your ears where you personally can't hear it, that doesn't mean the sound isn't still happening, right? Like, this is that dumb, if a tree falls in the middle of the woods and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Well, I mean, like, our observation of trees falling in the woods when someone is around to hear it would indeed tell us that, yes, one can logically conclude that it does make a sound. Like, this is just that. It's very strange. It made more sense when they introduced another weakness, which is that he has to focus his offensive power on a specific point, and if you move out of the way, then it doesn't hit you. That made more sense than the whole covering your ears bit.
When you look at his personality, the hate starts to make even more sense. This man betrays everyone. He joins alliances just to snitch immediately. Works for Kaido while pretending not to, then halfway through the raid starts considering betraying Kaido too.
Yeah, well, that's because loyalty isn't really his thing. And I appreciate that. Like, he really is just an agent of chaos who is in everything for the ride. He's not in it for really any higher cause. He's just like a criminal goofball. And it's not any deeper than that, and I'm pretty okay with that. So I don't get the hate for Apu, really. Just because he's not loyal. I mean, so what? That's his character trait. You want him to be loyal? That's taking away part of what Apu is about.
Happy Sorrow cut his
But make him a different character.
He's a strange fella, but not anywhere near Wansei levels. Most people fall in love with One Piece during Arlong Park or Alabasta. Me, however, I fell in love with One Piece during the Island of Rare Animals. That's the first time
Really?
I knew I was gonna love the world of One Piece. And who is the star resident of that island? It's of course Gaimon, my beloved. If someone told you that a person had been trapped inside a chest for 20 years, you'd think it's a metaphor for being restrained by doubts or something. But it's truly this guy's life story. His body got compressed so badly after falling into it that now if he leaves the chest, he'll just instantly die. Which means his entire anatomy is basically chest-shaped now. Oda really introduced body horror in chapter 22.
That's disgusting. Let me reread that. Like, is that for real?
After falling into it, that now if he leaves the chest, he'll just instantly die. Which means his entire anatomy
Is that a real thing?
is basically chest-shaped now. Oda really introduced body horror in chapter 22. The design itself is also incredible. Over the years, his hair and beard grew out so much that he basically became part of the island ecosystem. He high-key looks like one of the animals living there. But the part that always stuck with me is the reveal that the treasure chests he protected for 20 years were completely empty. That's one of the most underrated emotional moments in early One Piece. And then later it was revealed that Gaimon actually found a partner. Her name is Sarfunkel and she lives inside a barrel. Of course she does. I'm just wondering, how do they...
Okay, she's a cutie, though. She is absolutely freaking adorable.
You know, Gaimon is insanely weird, but that's why we love him. Moving on to the low...
Do we? Isn't that basically just like canon filler? Like, it's just padding?
Plague Doctor. Oh,
At no point has the little side story with Gaimon come back to be important.
my bad, I meant Plague Engineer. Queen. He feels like Oda challenged himself.
What did he say?
Single Moving on to the local plague doctor. Oh, my bad, I meant plague engineer. Queen. He feels like Oda challenged himself to create the single most overstimulating character possible. Every time this man is on screen, there's at least 12 different things happening at once. He's an obese cyborg dinosaur scientist disco performer with a bounty of over 1 billion. And somehow that still doesn't fully describe him. The design alone already puts him in a high tier. He got the energy of a washed up
Oh my gosh. Like, young Queen goes hard. Look at that design. He looks sick. He looks like a certified psycho. An absolute cheat. Like, look at him. I can't get out of this. I want a story that just has young Queen as like a permanent cast member because he looks amazing. Like, so many of these old Mads members, when they were young, they just look so tough. Like, I actually really dig on young Caesar, young Vegapunk too. The idea of like a super smart nerdy guy, but he wears a Hawaiian shirt and aviators, and he brandishes a rifle, and he just doesn't take nothing from nobody. The only one that's not aura farming here is Judge, who just looks like this ridiculous, like really dopey sling blade looking goofball.
rockstar who accidentally became a war criminal. His personality elevates him to the Hall of Fame. Buddy treats biological warfare like halftime entertainment. He'll release a deadly virus that turns people into frozen zombie monsters, and then turn the whole thing to a sick game of cat and mouse. I feel like people understate how evil this guy is. I mean, he literally bullied Jack half the arc. When
Oh yeah, Queen is a stone cold supervillain. Like, he is evil to the bone, but I mean, he's still a charismatic evil. He's still fun.
X Drake turns into a dinosaur, he just bites people. Queen detaches his own
Even if, and maybe partly because, this is like 2020, 2021, and Chopper starts saying some very interesting things about uh, how corrupt it is to use a virus as a weapon, which can be taken in so many ways. But yeah.
neck from his body like a snake. Gotta give him some cool points for that. Queen feels like someone took 5 completely unrelated characters and fused them together into one gigantic disaster of a human being. I hope he's gonna have a good time with Wansay.
In terms of design, though, Queen isn't even really out there. I feel like he's actually pretty grounded as far as One Piece goes.
I have a certain
He does have the weird goggles, though.
view that
It's like a monocle, but he's wearing both of them, which is like, why don't you just wear regular goggles?
comments on every single video I make, seconds after I post them. And he just happens to be a chess super fan. Yes, they exist. And I'm not talking about the
What?
game. If you don't have a PhD in One Piece, I'll remind you that Chess was the evil chief of staff for Wapol. I didn't add evil.
Wait, he was the chief of staff? I think I always assumed that Marimo was the second in command because he just has a marginally more serious design than Chess.
By the way, is his official title. They didn't bother to try and hide their intentions. Chess looks less like a government official and more like somebody who lost a bet at an obscure medieval carnival. He's dressed in this checkered winter outfit with a jester hood and permanently wavy lips that make him look deeply disappointed in life at all times. I love his introduction though, just standing in the ocean, talking about the weather with that expression of total despair. His main responsibilities in Drum Kingdom weren't those you'd expect from the right-hand man. Bro's job
Oh my gosh. We gotta appreciate this. Look at this dude's freaking sloth build. Like, look at this. Look at this, and then try to imagine what the skeleton looks like underneath all this flesh and skin.
expect from the right-hand man.
Nightmare
Bro's job
fuel.
was writing down Wapol's laws and documenting everything he ate. Why didn't Wapol leave those menial tasks to some random subordinate? He only gets weirder after merging with Kuram.
Yeah, chess is basically like a desk a desk clerk with a black belt.
Marimu. Create Chess Marimu. This thing looks like a rejected Pokemon evolution. Chess has a goofy charm to him. I low-key understand why he's got dedicated fans. Or well, at least a dedicated fan. No one can deny that he's insanely strange though. I bet you didn't expect to see Baby 5 here. Unlike the others,
Yeah,
she
what's up
seems
with
pretty
that?
normal at first glance. She looks like a stylish assassin, but personality-wise, she might really be one of the strangest and most tragic people in the entire show, and there's a real reason behind it. As a child, she was abandoned by her mother, who called her useless before leaving her, and that completely destroyed her mentally. Ever since then,
Yeah, Baby Five has low key one of the saddest backstories in all of One Piece. It's extremely brief, but it doesn't take long to break your heart. You know, treasure backstories don't have to be extremely lengthy. As short as Baby Five's backstory is, I still find it to be really emotionally effective.
5 developed this overwhelming need to feel useful to other people, to the point where she physically cannot refuse a request from anyone. People ask her for money, she hands them her whole bank account. A random hobo proposes to her. She starts planning the wedding. That's canon, by the way. Sai jokingly told her to die for him during their fight, and she almost does it immediately because she thinks that's what they need from her. She's simultaneously one of the funniest and most tragic characters in Dressrosa. Pretty much all of her scenes feel like she desperately needs therapy, but thankfully it ends.
Sorry, I zoned out for a minute because I'm appreciating the cover of Nami's theme that's playing in the background. I really like that.
In a wholesome manner.
I, character themes don't get played that much anymore, but I've always really enjoyed Nami's theme.
Sai realizes her entire life was spent trying to prove she deserved to exist, so he actually treats her seriously and ends up marrying her for real, which might be the only healthy outcome in the Don Quixote family. Baby 5 lands in the strange tier. Ever since Pearl came first in the new popularity poll, people have claimed that he's weird and didn't deserve it, which just proves the One Piece community still isn't ready for greatness. People often say that God works in mysterious ways. The same could be said about Pearl. First off, let's address the design. People laugh at the giant iron plates on his body.
I actually always kind of really liked Pearl's design.
Meanwhile, true Pearl fans can see innovation. While every other East Blue pirate was wasting their time learning swordsmanship or basic hygiene, Pearl was out there pioneering defensive combat technology. Did you know Pearl didn't lose a single drop of blood for 61 battles straight?
Yeah, I actually kind of like Pearl's design. He's a nice compliment to Don Krieg as another guy who has a like wears armor almost as like a hobby, and is the silver to Don Krieg's gold. And he's the rare character that fights with targes,
Name a single other character
like
with
actual
targets
offensively
like that.
oriented
The fact
shields,
that seeing his own blood instantly sends him into a flaming
instead of just taking a shield that is normally defensively oriented and using it as a weapon.
psychological breakdown isn't a
In
weakness.
case anyone doesn't know what targes are,
Fire
they're basically punching shields.
Pearl might be the most underrated transformation in the series. No devil fruit, he just becomes fire because he wants it bad enough. Kaido wishes he had Pearl's aura. Have you ever wondered where Whitebeard got his pose from? Look no further. Pearl is nightmare fuel even for the Yonko.
Oh my gosh, that thumbnail of Pearl is priceless. Look at look at this Chad. Look at Chad Stride over here with the gloriously greased hair. Oh my gosh.
We have reached the final boss of Weirdos, Lao G. His whole
Really? Not not Flambe? Because I always thought Flambe's design was like, on top of being weird, it's just butt ugly. Like she's shaped like a human bag of groceries.
existence feels like a fever dream. Even the rest of the Don Quixote family look normal standing next to him. Everything about him, of course.
Even even Buffalo, like, come on, man. Buffalo is standing right next to Lao G. I don't know about this.
Revolves around the letter G. His attacks, his poses, his speech, his entire existence. Out of all the special interests in the world, bro. Additionally, his fighting style is just being old. The man fights using back pain and near-death experiences. He spends half the fight looking like he needs help crossing the street, and then suddenly turns into a shredded martial arts monster for 30 seconds before immediately...
Yeah, he's like if Roshi was a villain.
It
And also a professional wrestler.
being defeated. At one point, this man straight up dies. His soul probably couldn't stand being near Don Shin Yao anymore. I don't blame him. You gotta love his jumpsuit that makes him look like a retired gymnast. The fact that this guy was one of Doflamingo's elite officers is insane. Imagine pulling up to fight the mafia and one of the bosses is a nursing home resident screaming G. I don't think Oda could ever create a weirder character than Lao G. Body is so odd that it feels out of place in One Piece. I think that warrants a tier of its own.
Bro has seen the Void Century. He's so old.
And let me know in the comments who...
Okay. That was a fun video. Again, I can't say I always agreed, but still fun. So let's go ahead and crack this open. This is from the official Netflix channel, because, YouTube has always been pocked by fake trailers, and it's really obnoxious. But this one looks legit. Looks like it's from the real Netflix channel. And, so I'm not necessarily looking forward to this. I thought that the last Flix Bender was honestly pretty awful, on top of being just pretty forgettable. But let's go ahead and check this out anyway. I mean, it's content for the channel, right? All right, let's do this.
The Earth Kingdom.
Hold on a second.
The Earth Kingdom.
Okay, let's go ahead and appreciate the Earth Kingdom here. Earth Kingdom looks pretty small, actually. Like, why does the Earth Kingdom look so small here? Like, look at the way that all of the walls are, like, stacked up next to each other. There's the outer ring, the middle ring, the upper ring, the innermost ring. Like, why are they all so close to each other? I'm used to the idea that Ba Sing Se is such a vast city that looking from one wall to another is the same as looking at the horizon. But here they're all just stacked up on top of each other like a cake. Why is it so small? Why is the only true metropolis in all of Last Airbender lacking in scale? Where you can already see the castle. Like the Emperor's Castle, you can just see it. Hey, but, I mean, Ozai's fit, though. Now that's looking like a Fire Lord, right? That looks good.
It's going to fall.
The Fire Nation foot soldiers, though, I don't know about them. They look like freaking Quantrons from Power Rangers in space. Like, what's up with that? So they have not improved that design.
There's the Fire Nation army just beyond the wall.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the way my boy's balls have dropped. He's sounding like a freaking grown man now. They waited too long to make the season. For real. And they're still too cowardly to make that guy shave off one of his eyebrows or cover it up with makeup.
I'm sorry, Avatar. You may be confused. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Sorry, controversial opinion, but the best Blue Spirit design is actually in the Shyamalan movie. I felt like adding the wig added a lot to his design.
The Fire Nation hasn't stopped fighting. All over the Earth Kingdom.
That lightning effect looks terrible. Honestly, if we can just go back and appreciate that, like, I'm sorry, but no, this is not.
Hasn't stopped
That looks bad. I don't know.
fighting. All over the Earth Kingdom, they're waging war.
I'm sorry, just one more time. I just can't get over how bad that effect is.
The Fire Nation hasn't stopped fighting. All over the Earth Kingdom, they're waging
That looks like some Space Jam: A New Journey slop. Or whatever the sequel was called. Oh, that looks cool, though. I like that.
You're the best Earthbender I've ever seen.
And hey, we finally get some Toph play. And Toph is actually blind. There was some concern at one time where it seemed like Netflix was tossing around the idea of Toph not being blind, which would have really ruined her character.
This is the Avatar? Zuzu, he's a little boy.
Oh yeah, return to the epic saga. Ugh, man. It's about to be so bad.
We have already won.
Yeah, the Owl Spirit looks cool though.
The question is, how much are you willing to lose?
Man, this... Oh my gosh, Appa looks terrible. He looks like a giant chipmunk. What is this shot? What is this that I'm looking at right here? This doesn't look like anything from the cartoon. Except for maybe the stupid Legend of Korra sequel with the big metal city that was shaped like lotuses. Yeah, that looks really bad. June 25th. I don't know. I'm really not looking forward to it. I honestly thought the first season was just a total ass attack. But yeah, so that's that. Let's go ahead and let's do this. I mean, as long as we're on Netflix, let's go ahead and turn on our audio filters and try and just kind of choke down this this next sad, sorry episode of Flix May Cry. Let's just go ahead and do it. I think this should be fine. Oh boy, here we go. Here's the thing, right? Even though I said last time that Flix May Try Season 2 isn't as bad as Season 1, it's just, I don't know. It still doesn't have the energy. It still doesn't bring the fire. It doesn't bring the storm, you know? Like, okay, let's see if I can just, like, recap what's going on. So the first episode is mostly just, like, an action beat, right? Just human versus demons. And Virgil almost gets taken out by tasers, which is embarrassing. Like, even though right after that he, like, broke out and he took down all those humans, just the fact that he was selling, like, getting struck by tasers was pretty embarrassing. That was pretty bad. Like where was his moving fat, like, Hong Kong Fooey quicker than the human eye, just like cut down all the tasers in midair before they ever touch him. Why couldn't he do that? He could do it with bullets, but he couldn't do it with the little taser claws. And then Virgil was on TV, which just like it's hard to believe, like, those words even came out of my mouth. That just seemed ridiculous. Yeah. But, I mean, hey, at least Dante doesn't come off as cringe as he did in the first season, but the story's still not really about him, which is annoying. But yeah, let's go ahead and fire this up. We're just going to watch 2 episodes this time, episodes 4 and 5, so let's do it. I like this design for Virgil, but at the same time, though, he does just kind of look like Quicksilver. I should turn this down, by the way. This is too loud. I do have my filters on, yeah. Okay, yeah. Wait, what? Hold on a second. He magically makes a magic coat for Virgil. That's so stupid. Whatever, man. Like, whatever. That's weird. The screen's not very visible. Like, almost at all. Like, what's up with that? Hold on a second. Let me just display capture. Yeah. Like, what if I crank it all the way up? Oh, that's weird. You can't see it at all, actually. Like, you can't see it at all. What if I do it like this? Wow, okay. Was that how it was before? That's weird. I don't remember it being like that. Okay, hold on a second. Let me, something's wrong. Something's wrong with my capture because this never happened before. Is this how it showed? And, let me just go ahead and mute this and, go back to my old stream. No, in my old stream, it was perfectly visible. Well, not perfectly visible, but you know what I mean. That's weird. That's actually really weird. Why is it like that? What if I do it like this? Yeah, you can't see what's going on with Netflix at all. What if I reload it? Hold on a second. Let me do this. Because like I literally don't understand what's going on at all. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. There we know. Can't see anything? Why can't you see anything? Like, why not? What if I drop it? No, you can't see it. Um, I don't know why you can't see it. That doesn't make any sense. Like the feed is just the feed's just not there. Like it's really just not there. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. I don't know. Like what you guys are seeing is not what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing like a whole. Like I'm just watching it. Like I can just see it. It's right in front of my eyes, but you guys can't see anything at all. Why? Why? Why is it not visible? Hold on a sec. Nope, that's the wrong thing. So let me just turn that off. Blow this up again. Um, um, Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and I don't know what it is. Why? Why is it like this? Why is it like this? You can see the subtitles. You can see the interface. You can't see the episode. There's no explanation as to why. What if we go back to the previous episode? The previous episode. Now the previous episode, even though we watched it yesterday just fine, now it's broken. Like it's all broken. All of it. Everything about it. It's broken. So this is pretty weak content. Not really sure what's up with that, so hold on a sec. First of all, it's getting hot in here. Sorry, I gotta fix this. No, I don't use Chrome. Okay, let me look at my settings. Nope. No, this is not helpful at all. On Discord, on Discord, on Discord, on Discord, on Discord. I'm looking up Netflix black screen while streaming. It just talks about Discord. Discord, Discord. They all say Discord. Discord. How to stream movies on Discord. Discord. Why does it assume that I'm streaming on Discord? I'm not. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. What about YouTube on and Twitch? No, I'm not streaming on Discord. I'm not streaming on Discord. It just keeps talking about Discord. This, for whatever reason, these search results are obsessed with Discord. They only want to help you if you're trying to stream on Discord. I'm not streaming on Discord. It only wants to help you if you're streaming on Discord. They all assume that I'm streaming on Discord. I'm not streaming on Discord. I'm not. I'm not. Now it assumes I'm talking about my Twitch stream not working. No, my Twitch stream, as far as I can tell, is just fine. Like, I can go to my own channel, and yeah, it's working just fine. Like, no. You don't get it. I'm trying to stream Netflix over YouTube and Twitch. And you're not getting it. Like, you're not getting it. I'm trying to look up the fix. I never expected this to happen. Because this has never been an issue before. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not getting a browser extension. I'm not hosting watch parties. No, you got it all mixed up. This is not what we're trying to do at all. I'm sorry for the interruption, by the way, on our whole like flow for the day. It's just that all of a sudden Netflix doesn't want to play nice. So right now I'm watching tutorials trying to figure out how to fix it. Uh-huh. Okay, the culprit seems to be some sort of graphics acceleration. So let me dig through the settings and see if that's like a thing. Um, no. No. I don't know what's going on. Like, at all. Um, so yeah, that's dang, that's just busted. I can't stream like this. I have to troubleshoot this. So the whole like watching Flix May Cry part of this stream, it's canceled. Can't do it. Can't do it at all. I have to cancel it. So that's it. Stream's over. That's extremely upsetting. By the way, I absolutely hate that that is how this has come down. That this just doesn't work. And as far as I can tell, it's a problem with my browser. Unless, hold on a second, I actually have two of these windows open. What if I What if I cut it down to one window? And then I try to do it. Is it nice now? Can you see? No, you can't see anything. You can't see anything at all. So this is just going to be something I'm going to have to troubleshoot. So yeah, this is canceled. This is canceled. The rest of the stream is canceled, and that is very annoying. But at the same time, like it wasn't really. Look, yeah, I wasn't really in a hurry to watch more Flix May Cry. I mean, whatever. Stream's already a lot longer than I thought it was going to be before we even cracked into Flix May Cry. So I guess that's just going to do it for now. I'm going to have to troubleshoot why footage of Netflix isn't working. I think I'm going to have to use a different web browser, which I never wanted to use this web browser in the first place. When I quit using Firefox, my intent was to never ever go back. It's just that, you know, when my girlfriend used WaterFox, I don't know what she did, but she like something she did corrupted it horribly to where it was nothing but pop-ups on pop-ups on pop-ups on pop-ups and on pop-ups on pop-ups. just like nonstop pop-ups and pop-ups whenever Water Fox was open, so I had to uninstall it. Maybe I'll try reinstalling it and then going from there. See if that plays nicer. But I mean, I was using Firefox before, so I don't know what's up with that. Maybe I have to switch to using Google Chrome, which I never, ever want to use, ever, for any reason. But for the sake of my streams, I might have to, which is really annoying. Like, I don't like hopping web browsers at all, ever. I just want to be able to use the one, and then that one is good enough forever and ever and ever, and I never have to switch, because when I do, it means I have to, like, import all of my favorites, and it means that it doesn't remember any of my passwords, and it's just really, really annoying. But I guess Netflix has decided that that's how I'm going to spend the rest of my week, is troubleshooting this thing that shouldn't need to be troubleshooted because it worked perfectly fine before, and that's how it should work now. So, thanks, Netflix. Thanks for that. Thanks for ruining my stream. Thanks for ruining my week. Thanks for shooting in the foot every plan that I ever had about watching anything on Netflix in the future on this channel. I mean, it's already plenty bad enough that, you know, my selection of gaming content that I can host on my streams is extremely limited by factors that I cannot even begin to understand. Because Psychonauts 2 just won't boot for literally no stated reason. Like, I went into the event logs and even it said that there is some bug that the system itself does not understand and cannot even quantify. So finding out that, you know, not only can I not really properly game on stream, but I can't Netflix and chill, is really, really irritating and makes me depressed and makes me want to give up entirely on all streaming forever, because it's just nothing but roadblocks all the way down the road. It's just nothing. Like, nothing works. Nothing works. Nothing cooperates. Nothing does what it's supposed to. All it is everything misbehaving, everything and everyone trying to stop me from what I want to do all the time. And it's getting to be more than I can really handle. There's just too many enemies to my dream, like to my enterprise. Like, there's just always got to be problems. I mean, I'll do my best. I'll try to fight my way through them, but as it is, just like, everyone's always fighting me. There's just too many times where I feel like I can't feel. I don't feel like there's anything in my life that I just get easily. It's always got to be the hard way. It's always got to be something that I have to fight for, and I shouldn't have to. Like, this, like, what I ask out of life is not too much. I know it isn't. But for some reason, I still have enemies. I don't know. I'm sorry to crash out on stream like this, but, like, I just feel really defeated right now. There's just been too much nonsense that I've had to push through. And it never really feels like there's any end to it. There's always more. I don't know why. I don't know what I did. I don't know why I need to be punished. So that's really tough. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I guess I'm just gonna try switching browsers and see if it plays nice that way. Do I have another browser? I mean, backs against the wall, I could try using Microsoft Edge, but then I would have to remember what my password is, and I just don't feel like doing that on stream. So, I guess I'm just gonna wait and try and do this on my next stream. So, here's the plan. Right, I'm going to. So I already needed to take my rig to the shop to try and get some troubleshooting done. I've got a local tech guy who thinks that he can fix the issues that I'm having with certain games not booting. I can also inquire as to what's going on with Netflix, where I try to stream it and it's not working. It literally worked 1 week ago. Now it doesn't. For absolutely no reason. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. I gotta figure that out. Unless, did I forget to stream? Did I forget to record last week's stream? Is that what that is? Like, when I try and record, it doesn't play nice anymore? Let me look at... Yeah, like if I look at this, if I open this up, no, it works just fine. So I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with that. Oh my gosh! Shut up! Shut up! I did not tell you to do that. That's so annoying. Okay. Yeah. So I figure. Well, tomorrow's Memorial Day, yeah. So Tuesday, I've got to go out and do some schoolwork anyway, because school year might be over for the kids, but for people working in education, there's still odds and ends that they got to take care of. There's stuff that I got to do. So I got to take care of that. I figure at the same time I'm out taking care of that, I'll take my rig over to my local tech guy, and he can figure out what's going on with my game, like my gaming, why it's not booting, and maybe he can also figure out what's going on with Netflix. For now, plan for us to come back on May 31st, same time as usual. We'll start streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully by then, we'll have things sorted out, for real, where everything is back to full capacity. I would love for games to boot correctly. I would love for Netflix to play correctly. I would love to have video editing software that doesn't pull the rug out from under me and try to fleece me for another $100. I would love for all of these problems to be fixed within the next week. And if not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't. I'm running out of ideas. I could just make it a painting stream, I suppose. I do still have some painting ideas. But my channel is hampered in so many ways. It's just getting really annoying. It's getting hard to push through all the problems and all the opposition. But, I mean, for now, that's going to go ahead and do it. I'll see what I can do. Hopefully next time I'll come back with things fixed and I'll be in better spirits. And, yeah. And, you know, I'm sorry things didn't turn out as planned, but all the same, thanks for showing up because, you know, every view, like, comment, subscription, follow, share, it all helps push us on to bigger and better things. But for now, I guess I'll catch you guys later. And have a good night. And, you know, happy summer vacay and happy Memorial Day. Or, I don't know, is that appropriate? Or, and enjoy your Memorial Day. I just put it that way because, I mean, it's Memorial Day. It's a day of memorial. I guess it's not really supposed to be like a happy occasion per se, but I mean, it is a day off, so whatever. I don't know, I guess it just feels weird. But yeah, I'll do it for now. I think I'm gonna go change the name of this stream so that it doesn't say that we're watching Devil May Cry anymore. So yeah, that'll do it for now. Just pray that things get fixed. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Happy summer vacay. Catch y'all later.